not a great weekend for our team, obviously, but really a great weekend for two of our women's sports teams. Our women's soccer team got all the way to the finals and then lost a really tough game, and then our women's field hockey team won the Big Ten championship, and I think that's the first championship tournament that we've won. So women's soccer won the regular season championship and got to the finals, and then field hockey won the tournaments. That's awesome, right? I mean, that's something that when we got into the Big Ten, we set out to win championships as a university, and from afar I got to witness it, and now to be part of it is exciting to me. And now we got to do our part in football, and that's what we do. We're relentlessly trying to do that. After last weekend, it could be discouraging, but it's not to me. It's disappointing, but it's not discouraging. We just need to keep working, as we say, keep chopping, and it'll work. We have some injuries we're going to have to overcome. I don't know a lot of the definitive will they play, won't they play, but if they play, it'll be unlimited practice, so that worries me. I don't care how good a player you are, but I know they won't go out there tomorrow and practice, which is our padded practice. So it's concerning, but that's why you build depth, and that's why young guys got to be ready to step up. And sometimes they're not young guys. Sometimes they're guys that have been here for a little bit, and now they get their opportunity. So I'll try to answer any questions about that the best I know.
Greg, are there any guys you can definitely rule out? Specifically, Aaron, it didn't look good on the replay.
Yeah, Aaron Cruikshank is out for the season, and I really feel bad for him because he came back from his shoulder injury that he sustained, and then he had a knee injury that he's going to need surgery for. So, yeah, that's I feel really bad. He's such a competitor and such a great representative for us. But you know what? We'll surround him. We'll help him through it, and he'll heal. Medicine being as good as it is now, he'll be back. He's gonna have a change in kind of goals right now for a little bit until he gets back to playing.
Greg, do you have any update on Noah?
Noah is, I think Noah's going to progress during the week. I think he'll be available. I can't tell you that for sure.
How do you kind of handle the quarterback reps with that uncertainty?
Well, Sean and I, right now we're in the midst of game planning, so we're kind of game planning generically, but in about 40 minutes we'll kind of just make some personnel decisions, and then I think that play calls will kind of get funneled to whoever it is that we think will be the starter. But again, there's no science to it because Noah may be fine, and then I think we have a little broader base plan. Noah really understands the offense by far the best, and then it kind of experience level drops there.
What have you seen with this current group of offensive line that you've been starting these last couple of games?
We actually, I know some of the runs were when the game was out of hand, so I really don't judge that. But early in the game, we ran the ball more effectively than a lot of people have against them. So I was pleased with that. I thought Pop ran hard. I thought Kyle ran hard. I thought the O-line opened up some holes. I thought offensively, schematically, Sean did some things in his staff that gave us a chance to run the ball. So that really wasn't one of my biggest concerns. Like we doubled the average yards they allow or close to it on the ground. The turnovers are the whole story. To me, that's the game.
How do you prepare for Indiana with the uncertainty at quarterback? I'm thinking that the true freshman might start, but Penix has said that he wants to play again. How do you prepare for him with a little bit of uncertainty?
It definitely is a factor. It's a great question, Sarge, because they are uniquely different depending who's playing. Yeah, there's no doubt about it. They literally, when you watch them last week, they're different. So you just try to do your best. You make some assumptions, but you better be ready for everything, right? That's really, we've been here before. Over the years, that's happened many a time, and you try to find out as much as you can. But, Coach has been around a while. He's not gonna be volunteering information. Coach Allen's coached this game a long time, and he knows how to play it close to the vest. So we'll do our best to be ready for whatever they come out and do. And the good thing for us is the mix we get from our own offense, from our season in the Big Ten, and then the last 2 weeks, we've basically seen it all except, true wishbone football. So we have at least a background in a lot of it. But when you look at what their current quarterback does, it's a lot of quarterback run game. It's quarterback gap schemes, which really are different, right? That changes the math in a big way. And gap schemes are when you pull people. It's a down, 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 pull people around, and then the quarterback follows. There's usually fakes off it to make you, go defend other things. And then here comes this big 6'5" quarterback running downhill who runs like a running back. He gets down, it's behind his pads. He's a physical runner. So yeah, it'll be a challenge.
Greg, recently it seems like you guys have been struggling to pressure opposing quarterbacks. What would you chalk that up to, and is there any plans in the future to draw up a couple more blitzes?
I agree. Statistically, we haven't gotten the sacks. I love sack fumbles more than sacks, but I look, are we putting pressure on the quarterback? Are we affecting the throw? That's what I look at. And we haven't been doing it enough. Will we put more blitzes in? I don't know. I'd like to find ways to. We blitz already, so for us to say more blitzes. But third down, what I have found, we're doing a good job on third down statistically on defense, as far as getting off the field. So, that's when you're really designing pass rush type blitzes. First and second down, we've played some teams that can really run the ball, so we better make sure we're sound on the run. And then when they run play action pass, we got to find a way to convert. And that's something I think we have to improve on as a defensive line. We're playing the run initially, convert to a pass rush move, and be effective in doing it. But that's something we're working on.
The offensive numbers, I know numbers aren't everything, but yards per play, it's all basically equal to last season. Why do you think it is that it hasn't translated to points this year?
I think the takeaways are way down. I mean, if you look at the field, there was a lot of short fields last year. There's not as many short fields. And if you don't hit big plays, then you have to really execute at a high level for a long time to score. Short fields make it easier to score. So we haven't taken the ball away as well as we did a year ago. So that's something we need to do in these. I thought when we got that early one, that was going to break the seal and away they go, but that was it. We only got that one.
How is your kind of approach to navigating this program through a rebuild, kind of the highs and lows, compared to the first time that you were here and did it, and considering that you now have that experience of having gone through it before?
Yeah, experience is a good thing, for sure. The only thing the first time is, when you don't know what you don't know, you just keep swinging harder and harder. Now, sometimes you're swinging harder and harder into the wrong direction. But that's a beauty of youth, right? Experience, though, I think, outweighs that. At least I hope it does. Because, I not only my own experience, but a lot of the coaches on our staff have been through it. So, yeah, we're moving it in the right direction. We just got to keep it going. I told you, coming out of Northwestern, the tip of the plane was then we kind of pulled it up, and then this one really in, and we got to pull it up again, right? That's the consistency is what lacks in a program when you're building it. When you get it going, then that consistency is something that, because it becomes the expectation. It's not it's not the exception when you win a game in the Big Ten, right? That becomes the expectation. We haven't gotten there yet.
You won a couple games away from home. Is there something about this group that likes playing on the road?
I don't know. That's a good question. I think it may have to do a little bit of, no disrespect to the teams we played on the road, but we played some really good teams at home. So some of that is probably schedule.
Getting back to when we talked about the inconsistency, can you kind of tell going into a game or afterwards, like it's not going to go well this week, or hindsight you can realize where things went wrong?
You know what? You think you can as a coach. More in hindsight, I knew that was going to happen because of this. Bear Bryant didn't know. I remember when Coach Bryant was alive, Coach Paterno had told the story that Bear told him once. He said, look, I stopped trying to figure that out years ago. I don't know if we're going to be any good today. Every game's its own event. And I think that's where I am. A long time ago, I kind of, because I heard that Coach Paterno say that, I just try to take every game and try to do our very best, prepare the best we can, and then coach it the best we can. And, there are ebbs and flows, momentum. Football is a game of momentum. And trying to manage those shifts and maybe even create a few of those shifts is a coach's job. And there's sometimes I've done a good job at that, and then sometimes I look back and say, man, I should have done this or that. But, I'm sure we all have that. These are the 2 bonus, right? That's what I thought.
Without Crookshank, kick return, would it continue to be Chris Long, and could Youngblood get a little bit more of a and then I guess on punt return would continue to be Avery Young?
Those are all good questions. I'm going to have to talk with our special team staff. We've done them all, so we can probably use whoever we'd like. Some of that has to do with what scheme you're going to use, and then you try to fit. This scheme is what we have the best chance of executing with the other 10 guys. So now maybe this guy's the best returner or that guy's the best returner. And then sometimes it doesn't matter. You just put the best returner, period.
Is there anything that you've seen that caused the tackling to at times to become inconsistent?
Well, some of the people changed, right, because injuries occurred. So maybe they weren't quite the same level tacklers as the starters were. I think it shouldn't matter, right? You should play every play exactly the same. But I think people get a little weary when the score is what it is. And, the old me would never, ever admit that. But I think that's human nature, and that's where you have to really motivate your guys to play. And some of it is, when we went back and looked at it, there's a lot of things that shouldn't have been. But we just didn't execute the way that we practiced. Do they have something to do with it? Sure they do. They make you think a little bit, oh, maybe I got to do this or maybe I got to do that, when they're really good. And you don't. You need to do your job. And that's our whole thing, right? Chop your job. And if we can stay focused on that, coaches and players alike, I think we have a chance to be successful every week. And as crazy as it is when you have a 52-3 game, but you look back and some of the reasons things happened didn't have to happen, but they did. And that's why you win and lose games, right? There's 2 teams, and I know only one can win, and we certainly didn't. So I'll see you guys later in the week. I appreciate you again covering us, and look forward to getting out to Indiana and trying to win a football game.